Greetings, fellow seekers of knowledge and wisdom. Welcome to my fourth live today, the 31st of July, or is it the 30th? I believe it's the 31st. I got it right. Anyways, thank you guys. I would like to let you guys know that I will be playing one of my videos that became the most watched. And I'm going to go ahead and elaborate on this video just because of the fact that you guys liked it the most. The Cosmic Explorer. Today we cover some of the most common. Awesome. Just wanted to show that clip. That is, out of all of the videos that I've posted, these short videos, that is the one that became the most popular. Apparently, a lot of you guys like that one more than any other video. So what I'm going to do is I would love to answer and address some questions regarding the secret space programs, okay? Because this is a topic that is shrouded in a lot of history and mystery that is being held from us by the shadow government, of course, of the military-industrial complex. So do we have any questions about the secret space programs or the breakaway groups? All right, greetings from Alabama, Ishmael. This is from Raymond and Melanie. Thank you for being here. Yeah, it's brutally hot here too, my friend. This is the peak of summer, right? Or at least the beginning of the peak. Let's see. I'm looking for questions that... All right, somebody said that there's no sound in the video. Can you guys let me know if the sound is working? There was no sound?
We didn't set up sound.
Oh, okay.
Just started.
Oh, okay. All right, so if there was no sound, I guess I'm just going to start from the beginning. Thank you for being on my fourth live, guys. And I did show a clip of my most, I guess, famous video that you guys liked. So if you guys have any questions regarding the secret space program, this is the time to address it because this is one of the most hidden secrets that the Cabal has been hiding from us for over 70 years. All right, so let me show a clip. All right, never mind. I guess you guys already watched the clip. All right, so do we have any questions about the secret space program? Okay, the sound is working now. Thank you, Raymond and Melanie. We can hear you, not just on the video. I have a mic. Not during video. Okay, so glad are your breakaway groups. Oh, these are going way too fast. 1 second. Let's see. Can you guys hear me now? Is that a yes? I hope you can. All right. So, sound is working. Awesome. All right. So glad our breakaways had a positive influence. Is this part of the reason we are receiving so much assistance now? This is a question asked by Nancy Palmer. And the answer to that is yes. That is a huge reason why we're receiving so much help from behind the scenes by the positive ETs that are working with the benevolent breakaway groups, which are, of course, Solar Warden and Radiant Guardians and Radiant Glory. Do you guys have any questions about those three? Because each of those factions serve a different purpose. Okay, so a question from Andromeda Daisy. She says, how many people in the US have been part of the 20 and back program? I would say about close to 100,000. Close to 100,000 that were genetically modified to be part of these, back 20 and back programs. However, there is a branch of Radiant Guardians that is a extraterrestrial super soldier program, and those programs are 60 years and back. So those are the programs that are a little bit more, I guess, the time spent outside in the cosmos fighting these wars against these negative ETs is much longer than the planetary secret space program. So those are called 60 years and back. And those are part of the branch of Radiant Guardians that has a lot to do with the cosmic war against Omega, who is the alien AI god that, all the universes have been fighting. For those that have been following my work, there is an AI god in which all the negative ETs answer to, who goes by the name of Soria Omega. All right, so Michael Decker says, explain the black nobility. The black nobility is pretty much the shadow government of the, Illumina, I don't want to say the full name, the Cabal, pretty much. They are the Dark Brotherhood. They are typically, in modern times, they're known as the Committee of 300, and they operate through a vast network of secret societies, among them, Bohemian Grove, Skulls and Bones, the Club of Rome, just to name a few. And then, of course, nowadays, at the highest level of this pyramid, we have the biggest corporations. That is, Vanguard and, of course, BlackRock. So that is who the black nobility is. It is all the members of the Dark Brotherhood that are working with, these networks who at the highest level for many centuries have been, of course, the Vatican, the Jesuits, the Jesuit order. Technically, the Black Pope. The Black Pope has been typically known as the planetary Sith for the last 500 years. But now the power has shifted over to the big tech companies. Okay, so A Cloud says, how do we know if we are part of that program and had our memories wiped? All right, to answer that question, okay, I believe that over 75% of starseeds, maybe 65%, all right, not all of the starseeds, but a huge chunk of the starseeds have been part of these programs, whether they know it or not, okay? And the reason I say that is because of the fact that when we started coming in the 40s, 50s, 60s, all the way to the present, we came in with advanced alien genetics. So of course they were going to use our genetics as opposed to the Earth Terrans, okay? Because our genetics are the most advanced in the multiverse. We are a conglomerate, potpourri of many advanced races put into one genome. And I've explained that in other interviews. All right, A Cloud says, how do we know if we're part of that program? Or I've already answered that. Are the med beds a SSP thing, oppositive ETs, are positive EPs? I don't know if I understand your question. Are the med beds a secret space program thing opposite to the ETs? No, they go hand in hand. In fact, I believe that the advanced healing modalities, such as the med beds, which is one of many, have been actually given to our, covert or our private sector by the ETs themselves. So the med beds, which are a healing modality, they were actually given to us by the Arcturians. All right, George A 350 asks, oops, it's going a little too fast. Let me see. George A 350. Ishmael, are you aware of Valiant Thor and light beings that are cleaning out dumps under Geneva? Absolutely. Yes. Valiant Thor is actually a representative from Venus who helped initiate the plan back in the 1950s with Eisenhower, by the way. And then, of course, the plan was later reinforced by no other than JFK, and that's why they killed him. So yeah, Valiant Thor was the one who initiated the plan, which is now being carried forward through the White Hats and the Earth Alliance. And yes, they are cleaning up the dumps all over Europe. And that explains why the war is happening with, PUTIN, all right, who is actually working for the Earth Alliance, all right? And that's the reason why, they're trying to cover up all the evidence about Brandon and his son involved with all the corruption, right? With the Ukraine. I don't really want to say it. I don't want to get a strike, but it's actually just flip the narrative around, guys, okay? PUTIN from Russia is actually the good guy. Oh, and by the way, I'm very proud of Mr. PUTIN. You know why? Because he's completely disabling and outlawing, or I want to say, what's the word I'm looking for? Outlawing genetically modified foods in Russia, okay? And that's something we should be doing. But of course, under Brandon, it's not going to be happening. All right, so another question. All right, so I'm trying to address all your questions, guys, so I am rewinding a little bit. Let's see. All right, so Andrea Craver wants to know if Dr. Stephen Greer is denying that there are malevolent ETs. He is denying that, guys. But the truth of the matter is that the NAA, the negative alien agenda, or the negative ETs, is only about, say, 15% of all the different races out there in the universe. All right, the majority of extraterrestrial life is benevolent, guys, in all their different variations and forms. All right, they're all sentient intelligences that are actually very, very benevolent and believe in the concept of harmony and living in balance with other civilizations. So it's a small portion of the extraterrestrial races that are malevolent. But yes, he has been denying the existence of negative ETs. All right, so George A 350. Let's see. I'm trying to address another question that I haven't. All right, so Emerald Dragon Orbs wants to know, how do we know if we were involved in missions and which faction? I have memories and intense dreams of rescues, other worlds, portals, bombs, and children. That's a very good question, Emerald Dragon. And because of this blank slate technology that they use, as we come back from these missions, it's very hard because a lot of those memories are actually deep within our unconscious mind. So the best thing to do is to do a regression, or perhaps even an HQQT in order to retrieve those memories, because they only wipe it out from our conscious, memories, not from our unconscious mind. So those memories are still stored within our conscious mind. And yes, a lot of you starseeds out there have been involved in these, off-world missions and back, because of the fact that we carry advanced genetics within our genome. Okay, somebody says, can you explain the Noah's Ark Space Peace Treaty? Peace Pipe, Camel's Eye, Eye of Isis. You have to be a little bit more specific, Karen Ann. Karen Ann, can you be a little bit more specific about the Noah's Ark Space Treaty? Are you referring to Noah's Ark regarding its connections to the flood that took place 6,000 years ago? Or are you talking about a current modern space treaty that is happening, unknown to humanity? So be a little bit more specific. Okay, so Andrea Kriver says, do you recommend the Voyagers books by Ashayana Dean? I still haven't researched who she is. I still don't know her material and her work. But a lot of people are telling me that my version of the cosmic history involving the war against the AI god is, pretty similar to her interpretation of, galactic Earth history. But from what I do know is that she is part of the Emerald Order. So we are working for the same team. Now, speaking of her, how come she's not speaking at conferences? How come I don't hear much about her, So I don't know what's going on with her. Okay, Isabel K. Hello, just joined. Did we already talk about AI? No, we haven't, Isabel. If you want to address the question regarding AI, this is the time. Okay, Nicole Van Hosen? Nicole Van Hosen. Hi, Ishmael. Do you think that the Starseeds will get their memories back instantaneous with the GF? By saying GF, are you saying Galactic Federation? Okay, so I believe that as we get closer to the Great Solar Flash, yes, memories are going to start flooding back. And then once the final trigger hits, right, when the big solar flash takes place, which is going to trigger or transform us into using our full deck, then I believe that all of our memories are going to be rushing forward. Yes, indeed. All right, so Radiance. Radiance is asking, deep amnesia is a hindrance. Will that go with when the solar flash happens? And the answer to that is yes. I just answered that. When the solar flash takes place, guys, the veil, that has been kind of blocking ourselves from the other dimensions and who we are in these other dimensions and who we were prior to coming here, all those memories are going to be coming back. Okay, Ronnie wants to know, was XRP also gifted to us by the universe galactic? By the galactics? The answer to that is yes, because XRP in the quantum financial system is a interdimensional and interstellar system that is used across many, many galaxies. It is the only workable system that is based on how much compassion and love you generate from your heart. So in these advanced civilizations, the more compassionate and the more service to others you are, the wealthier you are. Okay, so MS77 wants to know, when will we be back with our loved ones? If you're referring to our loved ones that have passed, they're actually waiting for us in the new Earth, in the Terra Earth. So when we translate into the Terra Earth, we are going to reunite with them as well as our pets. If you guys have had pets that have passed away, they're all going to be there waiting for us. I'm trying to get to everyone's question. That's why I am rewinding some of the comments here. All right, let's see. The video you played didn't have sound. Now sound is good. Okay, so basically it was about the secret space program. The first one being the Dark Fleet, which was an alliance between the Nazis and the Draco. The second one being the Interplanetary Corporate Conglomerate, or the ICC, which was an alliance between the international bankers and the Draco and the Greys. And the third one, which was a benevolent one, was Solar Warden, Radiant Glory, and of course, Radiant Guardians came 10 years after that, which were an alliance and treaty that was formed by the positive ETs, by the Galactic Alliance, or the Federation of Free Worlds, and the Earth Alliance. Again, the Earth Alliance is a collaboration of many different countries who are trying to create a democratic form of government or otherwise a republic as opposed to a dictatorship or communistic system. And from what I understand, now we have over 132 countries that have signed the petition to completely abolish the globalist fascist agenda of the NWO and implement a worldwide political system that actually benefits and works for humanity, a true democracy. Okay, so Marius Lowe says, we love the White Hats. Russia Knive is the original Rush capital truly. Yes, we love the White Hats. And yes, Q is a real military operation, guys. It's not controlled opposition. It's very real. Okay, so we should be praying for the liberation of humanity. You know, Ukraine has been an epicenter of corruption for the Cabal. All right, there was a lot of biolabs that were created by, the Cabal, and of course, Brandon and his son were involved in that were going to actually release some sort of chemicals into the atmosphere that were supposed to, or biological weapons rather, that were supposed to kill off 3/4 of the world population. All right, so we have to understand that Mr. Putin is actually saving many lives right now for intervening. So don't believe the mainstream media, guys. All right, don't believe the mainstream media. The president of the Ukraine is as corrupt as Trudeau is and as Brandon is. Let's see. So Michael Decker, he's asking, have you heard the latest from Kim Gohan? I don't follow Kim Gohan. I've heard of her. I really don't know much about her. And to answer the next question, if she AI, somebody wants to know, is Kimberly Gohan AI? I do not know. I don't know anything about Kim Gohan, guys. Okay. Let me see. Stephen Thompson says, hi Ishmael, I bet no one has ever asked you this question before. If there is only one of us, how come there wasn't two or more? I don't know if I understand your question, Stephen. If there is only one of us, how come there wasn't two or more? That is a very confusing question. Okay, there's only one of you. There's only one of you in this particular reality. However, if we consider the fact that there are alternative realities, then there is an infinite number of you or different versions of you. All right, each one existing slightly different than what you're existing in this particular reality. All right, so let's see. Again, I'm trying to get to everyone's questions here. Okay, so Firewater, by design, wants to know, will our vaccinated loved ones who died be in the 5D? And the answer to that is yes. If their heart was in the right place and they were at least 51% service to others, typically generally good people, they will be at least in the 4th D, which is a better world than this one. Okay? But if they were Starseeds, obviously they're going to the 5D, because the Starseeds do come from the 5D and above. All right, so Quantum Blast wants to know, your God activation is coming soon. Oh my gosh, hold on one second. Oh, this is a good one. All right, so Don Michelle wants to know, good evening, Ishmael. How will our bodies compare to those who have already crossed over and meet us in the 5D? Well, their bodies are less denser than ours. If they went to the 5D, they're already using crystalline / carbon-based DNA. The difference is we're only using carbon-based DNA, which explains the 2 helices of DNA. As we use more strands of DNA, we begin to use the crystalline aspect of our genetic material that is currently untapped. So that's the difference. Once we enter the 5D, we're going to be using crystalline DNA as well. And then the second part of the question is, and will our bodies be pure light and lose physical form, and are we physically adjusting? The answer to that is our bodies are still going to be physical, but they're going to be less denser. And yes, we're going to be fully connected to our light body. So we're going to be able to traverse different dimensional planes of reality and alternative realities at will. And not to mention, through the extension of our light body, we are going to be able to also travel the stars and explore different parts of our galaxy. It's going to be we're going to be working with organic, living, conscious bio fleets that are going to be extensions of our light body, guys. All right, so Emerald Dragon wants to know, can you expound on the Albion and King Arthur and how the O-negative star seeds? Okay, so again, I mentioned it before. The O-negative blood type, which is the universal donor, carries the highest concentration of celestial genetics. So we could attribute that to the Magi Grail of the Albanian, I can't even say it, Albanian kings, also known as the Holy Grail lineages. So King Arthur, King David, Jesus, Mary Magdalene, including the Kennedys and even the Trumps, okay, are all descendants of that lineage. Okay, so this is an interesting question. Linda wants to know, I hope I'm saying your last name right. Lavandopol? Linda Lavandopol wants to know, is the sun the real sun, or is it fake still? I believe that our sun is real. It is a living, conscious entity. Unlike the moon, our current moon is a metallic construct that was created by the negative Anunnaki, those that aligned with the Draco through Enki, and of course the Greys. Okay, so our current sun is real. It is a living, conscious entity, and it also has a name. The name of our sun is known as Helios Investa. So if you could actually, through your daily spiritual practices, you could actually communicate with our sun. And telepathically, our sun will communicate back to you because it is a conscious living entity. Okay, David Marquez, what will happen to non-star seeds when we are fully activated? David, that is a very good question. So there is going to be different levels of upgrade, okay? So the Earth Terrans are going to be upgraded to at least 2 to 3 more strands of DNA, which means they're going to be living for about 900 years, right? As opposed to 80 or 90. And they're not going to be susceptible to illnesses or terminal illnesses or diseases, okay? But they're not going to have the superpowers. That's the difference. However, for the star seeds, depending on which dimension they descended from, they're going to be different levels of upgrades, okay? The majority of the star seeds are going to be like the X-Men. We're going to have telepaths. We're going to have telekinetics. We're going to have teleporters. Each one's going to have a gift. And then a smaller bracket of the star seeds are going to have multiple abilities, okay? They're going to be like the DC characters or the Marvel characters. And then even a smaller portion of the star seeds are going to have the ability, similar to the movie Lucy with, what's her name, Scarlett Johansson, where they're going to be able to stop time, manipulate reality at will if they wanted to. Okay, so they're going to have amazing godlike super abilities where they're going to be able to literally control reality with their mind at will. So there's going to be different levels of upgrades depending on which dimension they came from. Because the higher the dimension, the more powers they're going to have. The oldest of souls, of course, the more powers that they're going to have. I can't believe I have a commercial. I can't believe I have a commercial during this live. Am I gonna have to wait for the commercial to be over? Oh my God, this is crazy. Uh, Anyways, I just had to skip the commercial. That was crazy. I didn't realize that commercials were gonna happen during a live. Let's see. Okay, so Ali C wants to know, is the Course of Miracles legit? And the answer to that is absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see. Mhm. Okay, so how do we prepare for the financial collapse so we do not get forced into digital ID? That's a very good question. Okay, so first of all, if you're a part of the ascending positive timeline, we don't have to worry about this, global digital currency, right? The central banking currency and social credit systems. None of that's going to apply to our reality. In the higher earth, which is already coexisting with this earth, there is no cabal, okay? First of all. So it's not going to apply to you if you're on the positive ascending timeline. The second question is, how much funds should we have on hand? Okay, the best thing to do is keep your cash out of the banks at this time. And if you could do this, try to convert as much of your cash into gold and silver. Okay, let's see. How long after the collapse until Nicera gets implemented? From what I understand, guys, it's going to be immediately. As soon as the Cabal's financial system comes crumbling down, the White Hats are going to implement Nicera Gesera and the QFS. Okay, Michael Decker. Diehold Foundation says the sun will nova in 2046. He has a lot of videos explaining his theory. Any thoughts? If you are referring to our sun going like imploding upon itself and it, into a black hole and everything's being sucked in, the answer to that is not in the fifth or fourth dimensional Earth. Again, we are ascending into a different timeline where the sun is going to be active for another billions of years without going into a black hole or without imploding. So perhaps he's viewing it from a third dimensional perspective, right? Linear, right? Forgetting to implement the fact that, there will be a bifurcation. We will be ascending. For those that are on the positive timeline, will not be experiencing any of that. Okay, Cosmo Girl wants to know, are there starseeds that have turned AI? And the answer to that is absolutely not. I'm going to stand for a second, guys. I can't do that. You guys can't see my face. All right, so if you are a celestial who volunteered to come save the earth and the organic way of life, there is no way that you could turn into AI, okay? We are two different entities, okay? We have a soul that connects us to God, source. AI is not connected to God. That is a major difference. So to answer your question is no. No starseeds have turned into AI. It's impossible. However, within the Breakaway group, known as the Dark Fleet, right, which is the Nazi Draco Alliance, their super soldiers are merging with AI. They are in fact cyborgs, negative AI to be exact. Okay, so if you're not part of the German super soldiers, which is Project, they call it Project, I think it's under Project Omega, then you don't have to worry about being AI. Okay, Don Michelle. Good evening, Ishmael. How will our bodies compare to those who have already crossed over? Okay, I've already answered that. Okay, let's see. 24th case soul. Ishmael, when the solar flash happens, is supposed to knock out all AI? Yes, it's going to completely dismantle the entire AI infrastructure. The Internet of Things, Wi-Fi, those towers, everything's going to be neutralized, guys. So how will they have a third dimensional AI timeline? Oh, that's a very good question. Okay, so through CERN, the AI God and big tech and all of its minions are actually creating a digital version of our Earth through a project known as the SWS, the Sentient World Simulator, where they are studying all billions of people, plus billions, and they are creating digital copies of them, okay? So for those that are getting addicted to the devices, right? For those that are part of the virtual augmented reality and they are being sold that and are becoming addicted to that, unfortunately, they're going to be going into the negative timeline. Okay, so it's also important to put your devices away. That's why when I post on IG or my different platforms, what I do is I don't even read the comments anymore. I don't engage in social media anymore because I try not to interact with my phone as much. Okay, I try to put my phone away. All right, I'm trying to spend more time, away from my phone and my laptop. Is what I'm saying. So yes, let's see. So yeah, so there's gonna, okay, so through 5G, to give you a better explanation, you're gonna have a, technological dystopia, which is going to be a further simulation, creating a simulated virtual digital reality, okay? However, through the ascending positive timeline, as we go into the fourth and 5-dimensional Earth, that's gonna be returning us back to the organic way of life. So it's gonna split eventually when the bifurcation takes place. Okay, so Mass Awakening is asking me, how will they determine how deserving you are of money? Will they be able to detect the aura of your heart? And the answer to that is yes, because the quantum financial system is going to be a living entity, a natural organic living entity, not AI, that is going to be connected to your heart, to the frequency that emanates from you. So that will determine, your abundance. So the more compassionate, again, the more unconditional love you generate, the more you're going to have in the new world. All right, so LE317 says Ishmael is type O negative and plus from another. They are two different blood types. O negative and O positive are two different blood types, okay? Again, O positive is that they have the monkey protein antigen, whereas O negative does not have that. So they don't have the primitive gene. Okay, so you want to know if they're from another planet. Okay, so if any Rh negative blood type is DNA from another planet, okay? It cannot be traceable back to the primates. IMMA, I know what they mean here, but what does it mean in another planet? MA, what is that, a blood type? I've never heard of MA blood type. Okay, MS77. Will it happen this year? Who knows? I used to always think it was going to happen by no later than the end of 2024. So we'll see when it happens. But yes, I mean, things are definitely speeding up, guys. We're heading into 0 point pretty soon. The new human 5 density is our consciousness just shifting into new 5D bodies, or are we keeping 3D bodies with upgraded DNA and abilities? It is the first one. Our consciousness is shifting from a third-dimensional carbon-based molecular structure into a fifth-dimensional crystalline-based molecular structure. All right, Conspiratary wants to know, how long after someone has passed will we connect again? As soon as we transition, guys, into the new Terra Earth, they will already be there waiting for us. Kathy Kberg wants to know, or she's saying, our bodies are transforming into superhumanoids. That is correct. It has been stated that we will see our past family after the event. What will their bodies be like since they passed and left their bodies? Well, their bodies are going to be restored. This is where I believe that the concept of the resurrection is real, guys. And I believe that they're already there existing with their new fifth dimensional bodies. And when we transition, they're going to look exactly as they did when they were 30 years old. So if they were elderly, they're going to regress. All right, guys? And if they were kids, they're going to continue being kids, and they're just going to age to the age of 30. And then at that point, they're not going to age anymore. And yes, we are transforming into the next stage of human evolution, which is what I called superhumans, metahumans, Homo luminous, Homo neoticus. There are so many terminologies to describe, right? For those that undergo the organic ascension as opposed to the transhumanist, which is their version of human 3.0, cyborgs. And we don't want to go into that timeline. Okay, so Concetta Connie wants to know, was Jesus a high-density starseed? Absolutely. Jesus was an indigo, a ninth dimensional indigo from star system of Sirius B. Okay, so Troy Lackey wants to know, is Terra Earth in a different dimension or frequency, or is it our Earth? It is here, coexisting in the same space at the same time as our current Earth is, but in a different dimension and frequency. Yes, each dimension has its own frequency. It is one and the same, to answer your question. So they are coexisting at the same time simultaneously. And this is proven through the quantum phenomenon known as superposition. God, I am so glad for quantum physics, guys. Quantum physics is definitely confirming metaphysics and ancient mysticism. Okay, so Eleanor. All right, yeah, so you're probably referring to Jesus. Yes, he was a starseed from another dimension. Exactly. Radiance. Have our Earth jobs prepared us for assignments in the secret space program? You know, I believe that whatever life path you decided to choose, even in your 9-to-5 job, has some sort of direct, or it is intricately connected with what you did off-world. Absolutely, guys. Absolutely. But it's also preparing you for the new Earth. You know, see everything as a educational. See everything as educational purpose. I guess that's the best way to see it. Everything is here in the lowest dimension. Everything is a training. We're in training. Everything is part of our further growth as we once again bounce up into higher dimensions. So see it as a educational ground. I guess that's the best way to say it. All right, so Quantum Blast wants to know, your God activation is coming soon. Absolutely, brother. God has given me the activating keys that will take you to God level and activate your DNA. I agree, Quantum Blast. That is so true. Let's see. All right, so this is an interesting one. Tone poem. Will Trump be the first Earth ambassador to the Galactic Federation? Well, what if I tell you that Trump has been time traveling with Nikola Tesla? Nikola Tesla was the first to invent time traveling before the Cabal took his work, of course, and his papers. But they were already working with Trump's uncle, John Trump. So they have been time traveling. And yes, they have been connected with the Galactic Federation, now commonly known as the Galactic Alliance. So yeah, to answer your question is yes, that has already happened. Okay, Kelly the 13th, how will the financial system work in 5D? Well, Kelly, in my previous live, I mentioned that in 5D, there will be no financial system, okay? Because we're going to be manifesting at the speed of light when we activate our light body, instantaneously materializing anything we want at will. Okay, so the quantum financial system is only going to be applicable in the fourth dimensional Earth, where the Earth Terrans are going. Okay, the younger souls. All right, so again, guys, nothing's going to happen to you if you got the vaccine because you were coerced. Otherwise, you were going to lose your job. It's okay. When the solar flash takes place, it's going to neutralize and nuke all the poisons in your body. Can't believe I said the V word. I hope I don't get flagged. Nothing's gonna happen to you guys, all right? The solar flash is gonna nuke everything in your body, and you're gonna be fine. You will ascend. All right, so Karen Ann has a very good question. What is the role duty of the gatekeeper, grid keepers, of the gatekeepers, the grid keepers? There are different types of keepers. We have keepers of the Akashic records. We have the keepers of the time. Those are known as the Time Lords. They pretty much control all the time traveling, or are above all the time traveling. There's also keepers of the Stargates. There's keepers of the grid system. So there are all types of keepers. So yeah, each keeper, depending on their assignment and what they're guarding and protecting, plays a significant role in the positive ascending timeline. You're welcome, Miko. Thank you. I do this work for the awakening of humanity, guys. All right? That's why I do the work that I do. I want to contribute everything that I know and share with as many people as possible so that we could get everybody up to speed and get as many people on the positive ascending timeline. Because technically, guys, it is really a war between ignorance and knowledge, okay? This is the way I see it. The dark side feeds off of ignorance, okay? To give you an example, during the Dark Middle Ages, right, when the Roman, pontiffs decided to eradicate all kinds of educational systems and throw us into the darkest periods known to man, they ruled through ignorance and they ruled through fear, okay? As opposed to an age of enlightenment where, we have philosophy, we have science, we have, metaphysics, we have the art of meditation flourishing, where everybody is able to understand the connection between mind, spirit, and body, understand the connection between their consciousness and everything that is living. That is the age that we're heading into. It's the age of knowledge, okay? So there is a huge difference. When we have knowledge, we have golden ages. When there is no knowledge, we have dark ages. So it's really a war between knowledge and ignorance. All right, so Laura Teresa wants to know if we have a time date as to when we will have removed the fallen. As I speak, we are already eliminating the fallen angels, the negative ETs, and at the end of the millennium, we're going to have one final battle against AI, guys, and the AI timeline, and of course, Enki and the Anunnaki Draco drones that he created, his own version of super soldiers. If you guys don't know about Enki's infiltration of the Galactic Federation and how he developed his own version of super soldiers using draconian genetics, AI, and then of course genetics taken from the human starseeds, then you should get my book, because the last chapter in my new edition is revealing what happens after the millennium with what Enki did when he infiltrated the Galactic Federation in 2018. So you guys should get a copy of my book for those that haven't. The last chapter, called The Revealing, is very good. It's very good. That's going to actually segue into the next book, which is in progress. All right, so again, the med beds are coming soon, guys. As soon as we expose the cabal and implement the new financial system, all the healing modalities are going to be, restored to the earth. Okay, again, Rh negative blood type, guys. It is a mystery to conventional science. They can't trace it back to anything. So about 13 to 15% of the world population who is Rh negative means that they don't have the monkey protein, or what they call the rhesus monkey antigen, okay? So many believe that they are actually linked to the ancient astronauts and the legendary celestial beings that came from the sky in our ancient past. Okay, so they are the descendants of the celestials. I'm trying to find a question. I think people are just. I'm trying to find a good question that everybody wants to know. The rise of Christ consciousness. Yes, guys, we are the ones that are considered the return of the Christ and the angels in human form on the earth. It's not happening externally. I've already mentioned that. We are it, guys. We are the return of the celestials. Okay? Through the activation of the Christ mind. Exactly. That is literally the meaning of the second coming. I like that, Rebecca. Yes, let's finish this assignment. Let's finish the job that we began billions of years ago in Lyra, guys. All right? We lost a last round in Atlantis, and let's re-win this round, final round, at the end of this cycle. Okay, so Info Prism wants to know, are the Yetis protectors of the portals? I do believe that the Sasquatch, aka the Yetis, do play a significant role in the protection of certain portals, but the portals that only have access to the inner earth or the networks of the inner earth settlements and societies. Okay, so I do believe that they do play a significant role in that, and that explains why a lot of the portals are located deep within mountain regions. All right, guys, I'm going to take a few more questions before I close up the chat. Okay, so I just talked about Rh negative. It is a celestial lineage that cannot be traceable to the primates of this earth. Let me see. I'm trying to take more questions. Oh, again, guys, the Sasquatch are the Yeti. They are an advanced race that comes from another solar system, and they do have a settlement within the inner earth. So they are benevolent, very telepathic too. All right, so this is a very good question asked by Sassy Cindy. Is Mother God here on earth in physical? Absolutely. She's embodied in all of you Starseed women. Every single one of you Starseed females out there are the archetypes, are embodying the archetypes of the great Mother Goddess, okay? So you guys are the reason why she is returning. The divine feminine is rising through all of you starseed women out there. In like manner, the divine masculine is rising through all of you starseed men out there. Okay, guys? We carry the imprints of these archetypes, all right, of these gods and goddesses. They exist within our genetics. All right, so Camila Naylor wants to know, or Camille Naylor wants to know. Oops, let me go back to that one. That's a very important question. Where is it at? Okay, Camille Naylor, will we see a pole shift before the solar flash? And the answer to that is no. The literal pole shift that is related to the theory of crustal displacement has been averted by the positive ETs. All right, we are expecting a smooth and steady transition into the new Earth, guys. The natural disasters, the earthquakes and tsunamis that have occurred in other times immemorial, where pole shifts have occurred in past times. I mean, there is record of that. Is not going to happen during these times. Okay, when we translate into the new Earth, all that stuff is going to happen only in the third dimensional Earth for those that are left behind. Okay. So yes, as we ascend, we're not going to experience the cataclysms of the pole shift. Okay, David Marcus, what more can we do to raise our consciousness? You have to exercise, establish 20 to 30 minutes a day, meditate through meditation or prayer, establishing a relationship with the divine, eating right, drinking lots of water, being at least 51% service to others. Those are all prerequisites in the Ascension, guys. And that will also keep your vibration high. All right, so this is a good question from Donica 4. Do we really need the med beds to heal? Isn't the power to heal within? And the answer to that is yes. However, for the Earth Terrans who are going into the fourth density Earth, they're going to still need these healing modalities. Whereas we, the Celestials, the Starseeds that are going into the fifth dimensional Earth and above, we're going to be able to heal naturally through our own mind. So that's your answer. No, you don't have to worry about being in Southern California, guys. Again, once the solar flash takes place, okay, put it this way. The rumors about the big earthquake that is supposed to like split California in two, part of it, half of it goes, into the Pacific Ocean. That is part of the fear-mongering propaganda. It is not real. All right, guys, one more question and then I'm out. Again, guys, I'm going to be going live every other night. All right, so the next time I go live, it's going to be on Wednesday night at the same time, 7:15 Pacific time. So one more question, let's see. Okay, Kim Ken wants to know, after the event, if I go to the 4th D, can I upgrade to the 5D? And the answer to that is absolutely, all right? Or will we have to wait for the next cycle? No. Once you're in the if you go to the 4th D, and if you do the spiritual work in the 4th D, you will have the opportunity to ascend into the 5D in a matter of years, okay? Right now, we are being afforded the opportunity to ascend into higher dimensions in mass numbers, guys, due to the times that we're living in, which is known as the fullness of times, the restoration of the earth. Planetary ascension is here, guys. With that have said, thank you so much. Love you, Soul Tribe, and I will see you in 2 days. Wednesday night at the same time, 7:15. Put it on your calendars. And please, if you haven't subscribed, please do. And also, don't forget to share my link with as many people as possible, guys, because I'm really trying to get this information